The Pareto Principle is one of the most amazing ways by which a number of problems can be solved. This principle can solve the problems which take place or arise in a variety of fields, such as the engineering field, management field, human resources, etc. The Pareto Principle is also known as the 80-20 ratio or the 80-20 rule. Here, the discussion of the Pareto Principle is done in a better and a precise way. This discussion will help students, business persons, employees, as well as an individual person to understand their problems, and accordingly they will be able to solve a number of issues or problems which arises on the daily life basis. There is a precise and a detailed description of the Pareto Principle along with the origin of this principle or rule. The other modifications that took place in the Pareto Principle after its introduction is also described here. The person behind the modification and the other theories of the Pareto Principle is also described. The Pareto, or 80-20 rule principle, is vital, and it can also be applied in a number of fields and branches. There is also a brief discussion about the idea of the innovator of the Pareto's principle. The innovator has a number of ideas in his mind, and along with those ideas the whole concept is built. The innovator has also suggested a number of ways by which the 80-20 rule or principle can be acknowledged. There are a few instances which are used to illustrate and describe the various fields where the Pareto Principle can be used or applied. Like every theory or principle of a different field, there are also a few applications of the Pareto Principle which are very helpful in a number of fields of study and occupations. These applications involve the Pareto chart, efficiency of the Pareto chart, as well as the 96-minute rule. These three play a great role in solving problems as well as finding the proper solution to a number of problems. The Pareto Principle is also used in the field of mathematics so that huge calculation can also be solved. There is also a brief description of these applications which are discussed above. In the section where the description of the application of the Pareto Principle is given, one can understand the uses of those applications too. In the next chapter, there is a precise information and description about the importance and significance of the Pareto Principle. It is obvious that if a principle or a theory has a lot of use and is beneficial in every area or field of knowledge, it will automatically be very useful. If something is useful, it always has some great advantages as well as significance. The Pareto Principle, or the 80-20 ratio rule, is very important in a number of ways. In the section, the descriptions of the various fields where the Pareto Principle is applied or can be applied are also discussed. As discussed earlier, the Pareto Principle has great advantages, and this principle is permitted by a variety of domains. So it is applied on a number of areas such as sales, company, employees, etc. The precise discussion about how a company can enhance its product's value is mentioned. There is also a significant discussion about the use of the Pareto Principle when it comes to the various employees of a company or business firm. It is also mentioned that how some of the employees are more beneficial to a particular company as compared to the rest of the employees, and in the same way, there is also a discussion about how some employees can bring good fortune to some of the companies, whereas the rest cannot. There is also a discussion about the various people such as salesmen who are responsible for the selling of a particular product of a company. The 80-20 ratio is applied on all of these situations, and these situations can be differentiated by the causes as well as the effects or the outcomes of these causes. A number of real-life examples are also mentioned in the next chapter that will help the reader to understand the whole situation as well as the proper application of the Pareto Principle on that circumstance. There are a number of situations which are needed to sort out, and to solve these problems, people tend to turn towards the Pareto Principle, which is beneficial in helping people to understand and solve problems. The Pareto Principle has a lot of advantages, and these advantages are very necessary for the advancement and development of a company and the daily life of a person. A part of all the various advantages and positive aspects of the Pareto Principle, like everything, it might also have some demerits which came along in the way of its development as well as the enhancement of the 80-20 rule. There can be some problems which can be faced by the people who have been using or who are new to the Pareto Principle. The proper but a brief discussion of such problems is also mentioned in the next section. Such problems are encountered by a number of individuals, companies, as well as the employees and salesmen working for a company. It is still very important to get rid of any problem which is coming in the way of the success and the Pareto Principle application on a project. In the next section of the chapter, there is a good reading section where the application of the Pareto Principle can be found. The improvement of a business is very necessary, and so there is a need for the proper application and utilization of the Pareto Principle that will help everyone in every manner. A number of ideas and options are discussed below in order to understand the multiple ways to use the 80-20 principle for the proper enhancement of the business. It involves a number of topics such as the enhancement of the website of a business, the traffic for the website, the proper handling of the employees, etc. The conclusion section consists of the plus points as well as the importance which will make anyone use the Pareto Principle, as it is easy to use and apply.